Okay, so we know that you can add and remove things from an array list, but we haven't talked about how to do that yet. So let's hop in. Um, so we have actually two separate add methods in the array list class. First, just briefly, I'm going to talk about this capital E for the type. Well, again, we have this issue where we don't actually know what type is going to be in our list until we make it. So whenever I talk about E, okay, that's going to be the type that all of the elements in your list are. So, for example, if you have an array list of strings, then E is going to be strings. Okay, if you have an array list of integers, then these are going to be integers. So whenever I say element, I'm just talking whatever is in your list. Okay, so the first is very simple. It's list, whatever the name of your list is, dot add, and then what you want to shove into your list. Now, if you do this, it's going to append it. It's going to put it at the end of the list. Okay, so it's not going to insert it in the middle. It's not going to put it at the front. Whatever you have, it's just going to stick it there right at the end. Okay. Now you can also do list.add with two parameters, with an index and an element. Now what it's going to do is if you do that, it's going to place it at that index, and then it's going to shove everything over 1. So basically everything else's index from there on, it's going to increase its index by 1. And then it's going to this is basically an insert method. It's adding it, but it's inserting it in the middle of the list, and it's moving everything over. Okay. Whenever you use the remove method, okay, list.remove, all you do is you say what index you want to remove, and it will take out the thing that lives at that specific index. It also returns it. There's cases where you kind of want to sample from a list. You want to use the thing, but then you want it to be gone. So this can help you do that. So you can use it by returning it, but it also removes it from the list. Okay. So let's look at this example right here. So I make this array list of integers, and again, this is blank. Okay, this is a blank list of integers, and then I start adding to it. Okay, and then I add a 7, and then I add an 8. Now, what happens here? Well, I've got, let's run this real quick to show you what's going on. So I've got this list, and I'm just adding onto it. And every time I add, it just adds to the end until I do this one right here, where I say, hey, I want at index 1 to add a 4. So at index 1, it puts the 4 in, and the 7 and the 8 get pushed back. Okay. So now we've increased our size to 4. Now this is going to remove the last element of the list. So in this case, it removes 8 because the index that I chose was the last element of the list. Now, what's happening here, I am removing and using an element at the same time. Because again, the remove command also returns the value for you to use in case you need it. So I am removing the first element. This gets me the element and removes it. So I am removing the first element, 5. So whenever I print out the list later, it's removed it for me. So that's how we add and remove values from a list.